What's going on, guys? Marcus Crockett back with another video. In this video, I'm going to actually talk about the dark side of dealing with subcontractors, right? Everything has balance. There's good and bad when it comes to dealing with, your W-2 workers. There's also good and bad when it comes to dealing with subcontractors. I usually focus on, just the good stuff. But in this video, I'm actually going to dive a little bit deeper and tell you more so about the dark side, some of the things that you can expect or some of the things that you should look out for. And by the end of this video, I'm going to let you know which direction I'm going to go with the company, whether I'm going to continue using subcontractors or if I'm going to go back to using W-4 employees. So with that said, let's get into it. Okay, so there's a couple of things when it comes to dealing with subcontractors. This list that I put together is in no particular order, but this is things that really stand out to me, and it's something that you should definitely be looking out for if you plan on growing your company using the subcontractor model. So the first thing that comes to mind when it comes to the dark side of subcontractors is simply the subcontractor's inexperience. Now, they don't necessarily have to be inexperienced in cleaning, right? They may be inexperienced in managing or inexperienced in hiring, or it may just be inexperienced in cleaning altogether. So in order for you to combat that inexperience, you have to do your due diligence. And even once you do your due diligence, having a specific someone in a specific role to audit these accounts after these subcontractors are done cleaning, like this is so important because you're putting your business, right, and the relationship that you've built up with the customer in the hands of someone who you don't necessarily know what all of their flaws are. Maybe they can clean really well, but they have a new person in, and maybe that their hiring protocol isn't up to speed, as far as where you would want it to be within your company. So make sure that you always have an inspector or someone go in and check the accounts. You can, since it's your account, you can do it however you want, right? You can choose the frequency, but definitely make sure that you have someone going in inspecting these accounts. Okay, the second thing when it comes to the dark side of subcontractors, when we bring in new subcontractors, I have all of my subcontractors fill out a profile, right? This is some basic information as well as some information about them so I can get to know them past the point of us just doing the due diligence. There's things specifically that I need to know. One of those things is, how much money are you looking to make per month? This is one of the questions that I have all of our subcontractors ask. That way I get a feel, because everyone is going to be different. You have some people who just want to make, an extra $2,000 or $500, or I have some people who want to make $10,000 a month, but it's important to know, who wants what. That way I have, I have a little bit more information when it comes to offering these accounts. But here's where that becomes a problem. Let's say, for example, I have someone who wants to make an extra $5,000 a month. That's $60,000 a year. No problem if they're willing to work. Where it becomes a problem is if they only want to make $5,000 a month in one zip code, right? Or in, maybe a 5 to 10 minute proximity from their house. Guys, like when I made my first 100,000 in business, I made that money. It was like 40 minutes away. So I would have accounts close to my office or to my house at the time. I had a decent amount, but I had to travel way outside. I had to go over, 2 more counties in order for me to get that amount of money. And then once I got it, now it trickles out, right? So I was able to get, my 8,800 and whatever it is, $8,333, whatever that boils out to. I was able to get all of that in a completely separate county, 40 miles away from where, my base is. And once I hit my first 100,000, then like for whatever reason, now I make 100,000 in my county and another 100,000 over here. And it just it boils out that way. So when someone says that they are very, very specific on where they want to make their money, then that automatically is going to take precedent over how much money, they can make. Because I can say, okay, well, we can get some accounts in this area, but I can't promise you that you're going to make, X amount of money if you only want to stay in this area. So the only way to really combat that is making sure that you have a consistent amount, a decent amount of subcontractors, and you're able to, get them on a continuous basis, right? That's the only way to beat it. We're dealing with a situation right now where, we have an account. I just got rid of a subcontractor. They weren't doing what they were supposed to do. Our inspectors caught it. They had to go ahead and get them out of there. But, this is one of our furthest accounts. So now we're in the process of, having another subcontractor submit all their paperwork. We're going over everything with them. So hopefully they'll be able to start next week. But be mindful of, subcontractors who are picky just because they don't want to leave, and maybe they don't want to leave for a valid reason, but it's definitely something that you should look at and plan for that ahead of time. Plan for it before it even happens. Okay, so the last thing when it comes to dealing with the dark side of subcontractors, this is kind of it's a good and it's a bad thing. It's good because it's good for them, and it's bad because it can put you in a situation, or puts me in a situation at times. And what I'm talking about is the subcontractor's own growth. Now, I'm not talking about their growth within, our company or within your company. I'm talking about their own growth. They figured things out. They started to go out and get more business, and now they're growing. Where that becomes a problem is that they don't necessarily need or value your accounts anymore, right? Or not as much as they did when they first came on. And it's like this: as long as they do a good job and they fulfill, their obligations with us, we don't want to keep people in crazy long contracts. We don't do any of that type of stuff. Once you fulfill your initial deal with us, you're free to go. We don't even make our subcontractors sign non-compete agreements. We do, however, make them sign non-solicitation agreements. And the reason why I did that is simply because I put myself in their shoes. If I'm just getting started, I don't really know how to grow my business, but there's someone who's saying, hey, you can come and do subcontract work for us for a percentage of, the total amount. That's going to look good. It's going to look even better if that company, which is me now, saying, hey, you're allowed to go out and get your own business. Matter of fact, I encourage you to go get your own business, but you cannot compete with us for our business. So you're not allowed to solicit to my customers. You can go out and get business, and grow your company, do all of the things, right? I don't want anyone to be handcuffed to us, but you just cannot solicit to our customers. And we've never had a problem with that. But the only problem with the growth part is that, they may start to look at your accounts as maybe not so important, right? So we only had that happen one time, and we were still able to save the account. Everything worked out fine. I'm glad that subcontractor was able to move on and go do all the things that, they got in the business for. But, this is definitely something to look out for. Okay, so I just gave you my quick list. If you are currently, in business or thinking about getting in business, go ahead and join the free Facebook group, right? It's free. Once we reach that 100 member mark, that will make you eligible to get a free walkthrough. Consultations are down below. You guys can book a walkthrough. The link to that is down below as well. At the beginning of the video, I did say that, which route was I going to go, right? Am I going to go back to W-2 workers, or am I going to go with subcontractors? And even though, there's problems, there's pros and cons to both sides, I probably will still stay on the subcontractor side. That does not mean that I'm not going to hire employees. We're actually getting ready to hire some more here real soon. But we're still going to stay subcontractor heavy, only because it provides me with so much more time, right? And I'm in a point right now where I still, I value my time. I value my time, my freedom. I value all of these things, and subcontractors gives me that the most bang for my buck, right? And I will put up with the things that I have to put up with when it comes to subcontractors. I just have to make sure that myself and all of my clients and the subcontractor, that we're all on the same page, right? So that's the biggest thing. But yeah, we're definitely not going to change. We're going to stick with subcontractors, and the business is only going to continue to grow and flourish from this point on. But guys, that is it for today's video. Like I say, in the game of business, spectators are only going to watch, hustlers get into the game so they can win. Guys, I'm always dropping jewels. Just make sure you're in position to pick them up. You do that by liking, commenting, and subscribing. Once again, my name is Marcus Crockett. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.